The species that produced Darth Maul is one of the most Force-gifted and most Force-cursed in the galaxy. 2 hearts, ritual tattoos, and on Dathomir, a dark side connection so potent that the most powerful Sith in history stole a child from their planet before he was old enough to choose. 5 members who left a permanent mark on the saga. 2 sat on the Jedi High Council. 1 nearly killed Darth Sidious, and 1 survived being cut in half. Zabraks originate from Iridonia, a harsh mid-rim world that forged them into something unusually resilient, according to the Clone Wars. Carnivorous, proud, independent. On Dathomir, the subspecies split. Night brothers, Zabrak males, horned, bred as warriors. Night sisters, female, pale, hornless, practitioners of dark magic, separate from Jedi and Sith. At their peak, the Dathomirian population never exceeded 1,000. In this video, we're covering the 5 whose actions the galaxy could not undo. 1 not what you'd expect. 1 traded dark side secrets with Sidious and nearly destroyed him. We'll get to her. Savage Opress was a clan leader, transformed, against his will, into one of the most physically dangerous dark side warriors the galaxy ever produced. According to the Clone Wars, Savage was a Dathomirian Night Brother. Talzin's coven performed a dark magic ritual, expanding his body, placing his mind under Ventress's control, making him a pawn in her plot against Dooku. Before leaving Dathomir, Ventress gave him one final order: kill his younger brother Farrell. He complied. Later, Talzin sent him to find Maul, somehow alive after being cut in half on Naboo. On Lotho Minor, Savage found a broken wreck, crawling on spider legs through scrap. He carried his brother home. Together, they conquered Mandalore. Then Sidious arrived and stabbed Savage through the chest with both blades. His last words, "Brother, I am an unworthy apprentice. I'm not like you. I never was." Savage Opress is one of only a handful of characters in Star Wars canon killed personally by Sidious in direct combat. Not by proxy, not by Order 66. Sidious came himself. That is the measure of the threat he represented. When he died, Talzin's magic left his body. What remained was the man he'd been before all of this. Unlike Savage, whose fate was decided by everyone around him, the next entry is the one most people don't see coming. Eeth Koth, a Zabrak who sat on the Jedi High Council. Not what you expected, or is it? Koth was an Iridonian Zabrak, the other branch, not from Dathomir. According to the Star Wars databank, he served on the High Council from the invasion of Naboo through the Clone Wars. Known for Form 5 combat, and a trait that became plot-relevant, pain tolerance, far above the human baseline. Grievous captured Koth and used him as a hostage, but Koth embedded a coded hand signal into the transmission, alerting Jedi to his location undetected. Rescued. He left the Order, became a priest, married, had a child. According to the Darth Vader Dark Lord of the Sith comic, Vader tracked him anyway. And when they fought, Vader noted Koth was fighting with more anger and fear than he'd ever shown as a Jedi. Koth said, "Perhaps it's the Zabrak in me, or perhaps now I have something to lose." Vader's Inquisitors took the newborn. Koth's eyes went to his child. Vader ran him through. A Jedi champion died with more fear, anger, and love than at any prior point in his life. The very emotions Vader said had made him more powerful than he'd ever been as a Jedi. The most human version of Eeth Koth was his last. His daughter was taken for Project Harvester. Vader noted he'd chosen the closest thing to a Jedi he could find, which turned out to be the priesthood, consistent to the end. 2 Zabraks on the Jedi High Council, same species as Darth Maul, but one of them carried a secret inside his lightsaber nobody talks about. Agent Kolar was one of the finest lightsaber duelists in the Jedi Order, which makes what happened in Palpatine's office all the more striking. Darth Sidious killed him in under 3 seconds. An Iridonian Zabrak, born on Coruscant, Kolar replaced Eth Koth on the High Council. According to Star Wars Lightsabers, a guide to weapons of the Force, his weapon held 2 kyber crystals, his own green, and the blue of his Padawan Tan Euster, killed at Geonosis. He carried that crystal to his death, which is why his blade changes color between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. When Skywalker confirmed Palpatine was Darth Sidious, Mace Windu assembled the 4 most capable Jedi he could. He chose Kolar. They walked in, with lightsabers drawn. Sidious leapt across his desk and ran Kolar through. Before he could raise his blade, Kolar was first. 10 second. Fisto lasted longer, Windu longest. And honestly, watching 3 of the Order's finest fall in seconds is one of the most quietly devastating moments in the saga. Not because they were weak, but because it shows how far beyond them Sidious already was. He and Eth Koth, the only 2 of the same species on the Jedi High Council, and both died at a Sith Lord's hand. Light side of the species accounted for, both dead, same tradition, both times. But what comes next built all of it from the very top. The woman who traded dark side secrets with Darth Sidious and nearly destroyed him. Mother Talzin, clan mother, shaman, and the most powerful dark side user in the galaxy who never held a Sith title. Talzin unified Dathomir's fractured Night Sister clans. She commanded Magic Ichor, a dark side tradition separate from Jedi and Sith. According to the Clone Wars, her abilities, body possession, spirit projection, reconstruction of a shattered mind through ritual. Sidious visited, promised to make her his right hand, then took her son Maul and disappeared. Everything afterward was revenge. She planted Savage inside Dooku's orbit as a sleeper weapon. She restored Maul's body at the cost of her own life force. She possessed Dooku and crushed him from within. Sidious came personally with Dooku and Grievous. In the Son of Dathomir comic, Talzin sends Maul to safety before Grievous impales her. She turned to stone. Darth Sidious traveled to Dathomir twice to deal with Talzin. The second time, his apprentice, his enforcer, the galaxy's most lethal combat droid general, all to kill one Night Sister. That is not the profile of a man who considered his opponent manageable. Tales of the Underworld suggests her voice persists in Dathomir's spirit world. Sidious couldn't stop that either. Hit like and subscribe. The Zabraks aren't done with us yet. That was Dathomir's most powerful architect. What comes now is her most infamous creation, and the one who outlasted everyone. Darth Maul began as Dathomir's stolen son and ended as the galaxy's most persistent ghost. Taken from Talzin as a child, forged by Sidious into a weapon, Maul arrived on Naboo in The Phantom Menace, killed Jedi Master Qui-Gon Jinn, was severed at the waist by Obi-Wan Kenobi, and fell into a reactor shaft. The galaxy assumed he was dead. According to the Clone Wars, Maul sustained himself on Lotho Minor for over a decade, on spider legs, kept alive by hatred. Savage found him. Talzin restored him. Maul built the Shadow Collective, Death Watch, the Pikes, Black Sun, the Hutts, conquered Mandalore, killed Pre Vizsla for the Darksaber, murdered Duchess Satine in front of Obi-Wan to wound him. Sidious killed Savage, used Maul as bait, discarded him. In Star Wars Rebels, his final duel with Obi-Wan on Tatooine ended in 3 strikes. He died, knowing exactly who Kenobi was protecting. His last words, "He will avenge us." Darth Maul is the only character in Star Wars canon trained by Sidious who survived bisection, built a criminal empire, conquered a government, and died approaching peace, having found meaning in someone else's future. He began as a weapon without a cause. He ended as a man with one. What this species reveals is a question the saga rarely asks. What does power do to those born into it? Talzin transformed Savage onto a weapon. Sidious took Maul from a cradle. Koth built a quiet life. Vader found him. Kalar walked in as one of the Order's finest and was dead before the scene registered. The common thread isn't darkness, it's the absence of choice. This is not a species of villains. It is a species that kept producing extraordinary individuals and watched the galaxy dismantle them. That makes them the most human species in the saga.